So this is a challenge, or maybe not a challenge, but a video I'd wanted to do for a while, which was making a custom pack using the free-to-play pets only, and seeing how hard that was in custom arena. Now I've actually already done this twice before, and the first time I recorded all the footage and thought I was ready to go, and then I realised afterwards that I'd used one of the food items. All the pets were free to play, but one of the food items was from a paid pack, so that run was null and void, and I started over. And then I had a bunch of clips recorded, but then we were getting so close to the release of the update, it just didn't seem worth it. So now we've got even more pay-to-win pets, and it'll be good to see the contrast between a team that uses free-to-play only and the pay-to-win. Pay to win is maybe a bit harsh, but there are definitely some pets. Some of the pets in the paid packs are terrible, but some of them are just absolutely game breaking. So, when you buy a pack, you're probably buying it for a specific handful of pets, and we can probably see some of them when it comes to the gameplay. So here you can see, like on tier 3, there's no choice there for the food. Tier 4, a lot of these custom pets are not very good. Armadillo, jerboa, mole and porcupine, you're not going to take them, so you're probably taking Doberman, Dragonfly, Lynx every time. And I kind of feel the sympathy, for the people who are playing free to play only. I often complain that their teams just look the same, but when you see some of the tiers, you just don't have any choice. Like here, tier 5, we're basically picking between Rhino or Hyena. Not a great decision to have to make. And then tier 5, you have to take chocolate really, and lemon is so good. And then tier 6, probably taking most of the strongest ones here. I mean, you can obviously make a case for gorilla. You do have tamarin, and lioness. Maybe I could have taken lioness instead of walrus or something. But I think probably you would need to win very quickly with free to play only, unless you happen to get luck into a huge scaling build. So what I did there was then I copied the pack from the browser version and imported it into my own copy of the game, because I didn't really want to I didn't want the matchmaking to potentially match me with less experienced players, because the account was it was just an anonymous account on the browser version. So I guess technically that's like starting from scratch. So here I'm picking up one of the games on turn 12, and I've pivoted into a Doberman team. I felt like Doberman was a good sort of anchor for the team, and it was, at least for a few rounds at the beginning of the later rounds, it was probably going to be pretty good. And we add White Tiger in there as well, since we have to have all tier 5 or 6s. And pull them out just for a bit of stats. Obviously, one of the problems with these kind of builds, especially with the Doberman, where you switch into all the tier 5s and 6s, is the scaling options. You're getting rid of your scaling. And here I take the moose. I actually make a big mistake here. I think I should take the donut there and give it to the Doberman. But a lot of this stuff was new, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time. So here we actually beat this clownfish team, this pay-to-win team, with the jelly clown combo that you just see all day, every day. And here I think I'm already fed up of moose, so I think there's another donut. Probably should have used that one. Okay, maybe for this turn we're gonna keep the moose. This is definitely a mistake here, because the moose is going to unfreeze everything, so I shouldn't have bought the chicken leg on the White Tiger there. Should have given the snake the chocolate, and then it would have been level 3 for this battle. I don't know if it would have made any difference. It might have done, depending on where the snipes hit, but they get reindeer from the spawn, and it's no chance there. And I think maybe it's this turn where I decide not to bother using the moose. Yeah, so now get the snake. Yeah, because with this shop, the moose is only going to give +2 So I'd rather get rid of it and either buy cow or walrus, and I go for the walrus, just hoping it will be enough to push me over for the 10th trophy. And we go against Highland Cow. Now, I mean, Salamander's totally broken as well, obviously, but thinking about this, I'm not really sure, like, what is a free-to-play team supposed to do about a 50-50 retriever being summoned? Like, how do you beat that unless you have a whole team of, you know, huge stats? Which, I mean, I guess is technically possible, maybe if you play the food build. But I feel like, you know, that seems like a little bit of an oversight that, you know, when they added the custom pack pets, they added lionfish so that if you were playing free to play, you would still have access to weakness. But with all the updates in this pack, you know, you don't have access to trumpets. As far as unless I'm missing something, I think Cherry is inside the golden pack, so you can't use that. And even then, if you had 5 cherries, you're only going to get 4 times 4 because the last pet won't trigger the cherry. So I don't know. Maybe they need to think about adding a custom pet that free-to-play players can take that actually generates trumpets. I don't know. Maybe there's an obvious counter to the retriever coming in. I mean, you can't use skunk. You know, it's not going to be affected by skunk. I don't know. I have to think about that for a bit more. I make a mistake here as well, where I should have used the meat bone first on the seal and then the lemon. So the Doberman gets the coconut removed by the swordfish here, but you know, I think we were quite lucky there to go against a very unusual team with a real mixture of pets. You don't really see any teams like that very often. And here, annoyingly, we don't really have... This is probably why you don't run the double seal, is that you really should have the slot there for the cow. But I'd committed at this point, and I felt like, you know, this was what was going to carry me over the line. I probably also should have, you know, if I was thinking about using seal, I probably should have put soft ice in the pack, but I didn't think about that at the time. That would have been great for this team, because then you would be guaranteeing double triggering every time you get the soft ice. So here we're getting close to having the level 3 seal as well. And I think, yeah, here you could also justify taking the blueberry on the cat. You know, if there's a leopard or something, then you're minimizing damage to your top units. And here we go against a double Bird of Paradise team, but they haven't had time to really fully scale up yet. Although it is turn 16. So here I replaced the lemon with fortune cookie, and then we do buy the blueberry this time. And what are we going to go against? It's actually kind of a weird team, but ultimately have almost 50-50 leopard level 2 plus level 3 tiger. And the level 3 tiger is actually going to skip to the back using the onion. I guess technically a free-to-play team could have won this, but they would have probably also needed to have massive leopard, massive high-level tiger, and your chances of getting that are so much lower when you don't have blobfish. So here is another attempt, and I think this was probably attempt number 8, 7 or 8 maybe. I tried a bunch of different things. And this time it is, I get Ox on turn 3. And Ox has always been one of the, you know, the strong carries from pack 1, in my opinion. Although it has seen quite a few nerfs down the updates. And here we're going to lose because of Hatching Chick and the Retriever as well. And I think I see the spider, so we need any kind of tier jump that we can get. We pill the spider, and we get another Ox. So I'm thinking at this point, right, that makes sense. Let's just run 2 separate oxen, because it doesn't really benefit you combining them. You know, the ability giving an extra 1 attack for each level is not really worth it. So I'd much rather have two pets on the team that can regenerate melon. So now we just desperately need some sort of scaling for them as soon as possible. Here's another team that looks like they're playing free to play as well. Although it's obviously sometimes it's hard to tell in the early game where you don't know. You know, they could have a whole bunch of paid pets in their pack, but you just haven't seen, they haven't bought any yet. Certainly you see a lot of teams where it's like, you know, swan, fish, otter, for instance. And we get the penguin on the level up, which is a little bit unfortunate because we're only going to have the ant to buff, and I really want to pill the ant anyway. But we also find a giraffe in the shop, so I decide to take that. And we'll freeze the pill for the ant, or possibly, you know, a flamingo or something if we find it. But even just for 1 or 2 turns, having the penguin giving the free stats, you know, sometimes it makes a difference. Even if it's on a pet that you're going to sell, it's worth taking. So here the ox second ox activating melon separately is going to clutch out the round. And we'll try and level up the giraffe. Now, freezing the snails, it's because the games go longer now, and you have more lives. Because the games go longer now and you have more lives, you know, you can speculate on snail a bit more, and you know it's much more beneficial to hold the snail. Whereas previously, you know, you would get rid of you would sell them straight away. But now if you keep a level 2 snail, you know, you're much more likely to have another round where you lose and can actually get the benefit from it. However, the ox is so strong in the early game that maybe I probably shouldn't have frozen them there. That, you know, there's a pretty good chance that I wasn't going to lose. So I think maybe do I unfreeze them, or maybe I'm still greedy. Okay, so here we find the dragonfly. Now, since I'm not going to level up the oxen anytime soon, the dragonfly is a better take than the penguin. Hopefully we'll get the giraffe to level 2 quickly. It's not going to be this turn anyway, but we do find a squirrel. Doberman's no good for this team because obviously we're going to keep the ox. And I decide here just to leave the big one at the front for now, rather than putting a 2 attack unit at the front. And that works out this turn. Weasel seems like such a strong new unit. It's kind of like Swan, but you know the stats are not sort of unusable to begin with. We get beaten by that team, and they obviously have all the different packs. But now we do get the benefit of the snails, and I think I combine them rather than buy selling, because this can happen and you can get another snail. And to be honest, you could possibly justify holding that snail in the team, because you know any subsequent snail is going to be +8/+8. But of course, you know, you never know. Like, I didn't have any in the shop there, so maybe next turn I wouldn't have been able to find one. But you can see in this battle the unfortunate, you know, you can end up, if you put ox at the front, you know, you're running the risk of the weakness being applied like it was there. And we get the cow, so we'll combine the dragonflies. Move the giraffe so that I don't waste the buff. And now that the dragonfly is up to 8 attack, I think I'm willing to put it at the front. Probably should have just sold the cow and bought the fly there. Not sure what I was really looking for, to be honest. And although giraffe, you know, you can keep it for a reasonably long time, even in original pack 1. The scaling it's providing relative to the rest of custom packs is just extremely weak. But we get lucky there, and the double melon. Actually, did the melon make a difference in there? I can't remember. Probably also could have frozen skunk there, but you can see I've got you know, I've got the snail frozen. I you know, a buff across the whole team is so good. And you know, you don't have blue-ringed octopus. You got to make do with snail. So here, I think this could have been a this could have been a free-to-play team as well. You know, Penguin Monkey is always an indicator that it could have been free-to-play. So we'll level up. We get Dragon. I could switch to Dragon here, but you know we're on 8 wins, turn 11. I feel like it's not really worth it. So we'll level up the Dragonfly. White Tiger's not going to help this team. I suppose actually you could sell Dragonfly, sell Cow, buy Skunk and White Tiger on the last turn. Now this is really funny because we go against an Ox, Dragonfly, Giraffe team. I actually see this person all the time in Custom Arena, and to me it looks like they are playing free to play and they are trying to get the Hyena achievement there. So I hope they manage to get it, because it's probably not an easy one unless you've got a really strong scaled up team like they had there. So this time I think it's either Snake or Skunk. We're going for Skunk this time, and we do get the pill for the Mammoth. Having the 10-12 Dragonfly at the front with no stake looks really bad. I don't think I put stake in the pack. Probably should have done that. Definitely better than, say, I think it was chicken leg, but I suppose you're putting chicken leg in there in the off chance that you get the cat. And although we are against flying fish here, I think we should be fine given that we have the lemon. Even though that single wolf is spawning like, what is it, 30, 18 stats. So potentially last turn, sell the Skunk. Possibly could have sold Dragonfly, I don't know. The stats there, it does take the Ox above to 31 health, because I suppose it's not guaranteed from the Dragonfly. And this time we do take the the fly, and honestly I'm not sure what was going on with this team. They just deleted their own team. I guess that was probably someone who was hoping to find lemon for their toad and they didn't get it. But having the Ox block the weakness at the beginning is so good. So we did eventually get a win with free to play only. Try it for yourself. It's pretty uncomfortable.